Hello and welcome to Railroads Online, and this is the first episode of a new series of building out the map and a playthrough as well on a moved industries map. And those who have played the game have probably already noticed that the freight depot is missing from here. And what I've done is I've moved the freight depot over to the other side of the hill here, and there it is there where I normally put my large yard. Now I've also moved a few of the other industries, and the reason I've moved the industries is to give a better distance of running for each of the different rail cars. And well, this is the spot where the logging camp usually is, and we have the refinery here, and we've actually swapped the spots between the refinery and the logging camp. And we are actually in the beta branch here, because I'm also going to do something a little bit different with how I build the track that I've shown in the tutorials. I'm going to use the new spline tracks as the temporary groundwork because they build in nice big straight lines and even curves. It makes it a little bit easier to work out where you need to put your curves and grades at. It also doesn't have the grade bug, so the grade that you get is actually the grade that you get. So where the refinery was, and well, the refinery was actually over here, and there was a patch of dirt to the south, and well, the patch of dirt just seemed to match nicely to where the logging camp needed to go. Now I have actually moved the oil field over here just a little bit, slightly to the east and slightly to the north, just so that it matched up with this patch of dirt that was, well, it used to be over in here on this side, but I've matched it up to where we put the lines through here in the middle. Now the other industries, the coal mine and iron mine are unmoved because you can't really move them because of the way the foundations are built into the side of the mountain. And it's the same thing here with the sawmill. You can't really move the sawmill because these foundations here at the bottom of these legs and this concrete foundation underneath the building don't move. But as you can see here, I have actually shuffled it to the west as far as I possibly can without it disappearing off of the foundation. That way it puts this here a little bit squarer into where the pond sits and gives me just that little bit of extra room here at this end between here and the side of the hill to be able to get a larger circle in. Now if we head down the valley here, do a quick little jump across there so I don't get stuck. The smelter used to be down here in the valley flat, and I have removed it from here and I have lifted it up and put it up here near the waterfall because there's a nice big flat area here for the smelter to sit on, and that gives us a little bit longer to run for the cordwood and then also for the things that we're taking out of here to get them back to where they're going. It also reduces the distance we need to run to the coal mine, so the coal mine isn't a exceptionally long distance to go to. And then the last industry that we moved, and we can see it there on the other side of the hill, and it is the ironworks. And it's over here on this little plateau, which gives us a spot where we can build either a nice big bridge across this area here, or we can do a nice big bridge across the river, because we don't normally have any reason to put in big bridges. So yes, the smelter's here on this little flat plateau. Everything isn't too far off of being level height, so the only real grades that we'll need are the grades up to either of the two mines. Everything else is all fairly well level with where the freight depot is. Oh, can we climb back up here? It's always fun to try and climb up these mountains. There we go, now we're away. It's good having this fast speed because you can zoom to where you're going really, really quickly. And we'll come back over here to the start because this is where we have to start building at. But before we do that, let's have a quick look here at the map. because I actually have made up a map with the moved industries, and you can see the position of those on the map. And I'll just scroll up to the top. This map will be available for download. It will be in the Notable Bits channel on Heiss's Discord. The map as well as the save file. Okay, well, let's get rid of the map out of there and let's start doing some building. First of all, the first thing we want to do, because currently there is a bug in the game where the first cross track that you place is actually bugged, and the new Heisler and the new Class 70 can't actually pass over it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go out here where the trees will be, and we don't want to be in the new, we want to actually be in the old because we want to build it in the old tracks. And we're just going to throw one right there, and we're just going to leave it. And that can be the bugged one, and it will not be in the rail system, so we'll never have any issues with collisions with any of the either of those two new locomotives. Okay, so we'll line up here, and what we'll do is we'll actually put this in here first, and this will give us a line up to where we're going. Put it on circle mode, and we want to build through to here. That won't let us put it down. We'll come through to here then, and now it'll let us put it down. And then we'll do the same thing again with a bit of this on the bottom of it, because that'll let us put it down to here. And then we'll do the same thing again, just to get a line up. And another short piece here. And that will give us a line up for where we need to line up to. We don't actually want to build on this yet. And this first section here we'll take out. And now we'll start building a little bit of the old style track. So always to start off, we start off with a cross track and normal track, and we build over the top of the cross track, and away we go. We can start building along here. Actually, that's probably not a good idea. It's probably a good idea for us to put down a little bit of groundworks here first. Let's remove that bit out of there. Otherwise we will run into trouble of things not being level, because as you can see, this starts to, we can use this to line up on here about there, because that's in straight line. Move back to here, that piece in. We'll put in another piece and line it up to here, and we want to bring it down so it's about level with the top of the rails. So about there will be good. That gives us our change of angle. Now we can build down there. Oh, wrong types of rails. We want old rails. There we go. And Alt lock on. And the 9 tie length segments so that every segment's the same length. Where is it? Oh, we went past it. I thought we went past it. There it is. We will come back later and sink the ties into the groundworks. Won't quite worry about it yet. Okay, and that gets us to this point here. And now we are actually building on top of the existing all new splines. We'll come again and we'll connect on here. And now we've got our circle mode on. And we'll pull it down, and we want to put, say, 120-degree curve in here. Pull it out until it points the direction we want it to, which is somewhere over here. And it's kind of hard to see at the moment where we're putting stuff, because we've left the grass on. We'll point it in about that direction, I think. A nice big curve right there, just like that. We'll go turn this grass off so we can actually see where we're building. Apply. Back and in, and now we can actually see where we're building. Now what we can actually do here is we can build straight across the top of, and we'll mark this piece here, because this will be where an overlap is. Wrong tracks. This one. And we'll continue to build on here. Are you going to snap to it? Doesn't want to show me the icon. Okay, we'll just have to line it up somewhere close then. Okay, it wants to be painful. So we'll get rid of this piece, and we'll come back one piece more. Mark it. And build from this piece. Gets us down here on this level. And then all we need to do is follow this rail that we've got underneath. We've got to remember the keys because everything's changed. We want to be probably on 2. Then we come forward to the next one. And line it up in a straight line so that the rails line up with each other. And a little bit tighter. And it should be about the same curve all the way around. Now it looks like it's still slightly increasing. So we're up to 8 degrees. Okay, we need to be on 7.5 then. Oh, we're still slowly gaining. Go back out a little bit. And we just follow around and build over the top of this nice curved spline that we put in here. And we should get a nice match with the old rail over the top of it. Yeah, if we start to wander off from the, we just keep touching it up. It doesn't matter if we get little tiny wobbles in the track, that just makes it look more narrow gauge. And as you can see as we're building over this, the new splines don't actually place perfect circles. They do wobble around just a little bit. Okay, there we are, and we're to as far as we can go with that piece. And then on the end of here, we'll go back to new splines again and connect onto here. I think we might actually come around just a little bit further because we want to point this direction so that we can actually see the ground. And put that piece in there, and now we'll straighten up all the way back to 0. There we go. And how far forward do we want to go? Pretty much to the edge of this hill here, I think. Go about here. And then we'll turn. .30's a little bit too tight, so we might bring it out just a little bit further. 40, 50, 60. We'll go 70. And line it up pretty much at 90 degrees to the pattern on the ground. And put that piece in there. Now we'll come back over to here where we were. And we'll mark our overlap point. And hopefully this time it'll actually let us connect. Oh, wrong type of rail. Old rails. And overlap this piece. Now we're showing links. And we need to keep coming around. It was 7.5, wasn't it? We'll just go 7. 7's pretty close. Let's keep following the curve around over the top of this track. We're coming into the straight here now, so I'll have to back off the curve a little bit. Back to 5, I reckon. We're not quite pointed in a straight line along there. So we may actually need to end that spline there. Take off the last 2 segments. Try again. Of course, we will build back over the top of this again another time so that we can combine all these little short splines together so that they all turn into one big spline. Now, hopefully this time we'll get a better line up. We'll go 3. And then back straight. And we're slightly the other way now. Try again. And that one, and we want to take the corded piece off of here. We're ever going for the wrong one. Well, as far as the updates are concerned with Railroads Online, we don't really know what's happening yet. Because there was an official statement put out from Queemy on the Discord, oh, no, not on the Discord, on the Steam page, that he was going to change focus from the new splines and start fixing some of the bugs that are in these old splines and improve the way the old splines work with the build tools. So we can only understand that as mean to try and combine the two together so that it's a bit easier to build in the old splines, which I think that will make for a better game. That's the reason that a lot of people actually play Railroads Online, is the way the trains work on the tracks and how it is that if you don't make good track, it's so easy for you to actually have your train fall off the rails. And well, that's what makes it fun for me for actually running the trains, is to know that if I get it wrong, they're going to go in the dirt. And well, as far as the Steam is concerned, I'm still permanently banned from the Steam hub. So these videos can only be put on YouTube, and I can't actually add them to the Steam hub as well, like I did with the tutorials. Because yes, that's a smart move, is you ban your content creators from the Steam hub, community hub, because they speak out and say that the what you're currently doing with your game is not good. You get banned for it. No, a little bit tighter, I think. We'll go for 10. That seems to be staying nicely on the rails. I think we still need to stay on 13. Now we'll start backing it off. And the last piece that we can put in, which will be to here. Put in that spline. And now we want to go straight for a little bit, so we'll go back to the old spline types and put it back straight. How far out do we have to come? Because we've got to line up somewhere along here where we want to put the line into this yard that we're going to put. So we've got another 217 metres. And say we want to have 70 metres of that. No, we need 80 metres of that for a Y to go in here. That was 220, so about 150 we want to come forward. About there. And now we'll put in wrong type of track. We want old. Mark where this corded piece will be. I want to try and line this up because we've got to come straight again here. Don't want to get a wobble in the track. One and a half. And now we should be able to come back straight. There we go, that's pretty good. Back to 0. And we have gone slightly off to the side. We'll see how bad it gets by the end of the straight. If it's too bad, we might have to take it off the top. No, I think we're going to go too far off of line. So we'll take all these off all the way back to the end. And that one and the corded piece. And we'll have a second go at it. Wrong track. There's the link. We'll stretch it all the way. It'll give us a good idea of which direction we're heading here. I think we'll get a better line up with that. Build along and try again. They are slightly going off to the left. I think we should make it to the end now without it coming too far off the alignment we made. But yeah, building over the top does make it a little bit easier for you to work out where the direction and the size of the curves you need to make. All the way through here to the end. just a little off to the side. It's not going to hurt us too much. You get another piece? No. So we'll end the spline there. And what we're going to do is we're going to now remove everything that we've put here underneath the... remove all our temporary stuff, and we need to know that this has got a corded piece here, which we need to remove, and remove that. And this can be hard to get at, to get the piece that's underneath. So we'll try it and do a crouch down beside the track. And same again, crouch and remove the piece from underneath. All the way through back to, and we've got another corded piece here we need to clean up. And the marker, and crouch down, and and that's not a problem if it does that, because all we need to do, and I've showed this in episode 4 of the build tutorials, if we accidentally delete a piece, is put in a 3-segment piece over the top, and then you've got to come back and delete the chords for the first and the last, which I actually think we deleted the wrong piece out of there. No, that one we got the right piece, but it will fix it when we build all the way back over the top again and turn it into a single spline. Again, we've got another corded piece here. And we need to crouch down and delete the track from underneath. There we go. Yes, I'm not real happy with what's happened here with this grade. We might have to come back and redo this, I think. Try and get this bit from out from under here, and we've got the bit over the top. Grab the correct rails. Link to there, link to there, and link to there. And one more on the end. So yes, it can be difficult to get the pieces out where you don't want them at. And yes, I'm not real happy with the way this dip went here. So I might remove this bit of groundwork. And we'll come back to here and try again with another piece of groundwork. And we'll go for constant grade. Back to where the link point is. And then we'll come forward to here. And we'll put the grade. Oops, if you use the right button. Try and get this grade to line up a little bit better. There we go. That should get rid of this funny little dip that's in the middle. And so we will remove these couple of bits of rail here out of the middle that caused the problem. And that one, and that one, and that one. And I actually think that one's a problem as well. And maybe even this one. And let's just take the whole lot of them. And we'll connect up between these two again. Just again, we selected the wrong rail type. I want this one. And Alt lock on, because these were just all straight pieces of track. It's nice and easy to replace them. And the next piece, we can turn the Alt lock off, connect to the end, and go one past the post. And delete the tangent. And that should give us a better transition, and it has. That's much nicer. And we'll delete this bit of temporary groundwork that we've got here, so we no longer need it. And we no longer need this piece here as well. And we no longer need this cross track here. And that's got our first bit of rail built. And now off to the next section, and this is where using the rail to get everything aligned becomes much easier. We will put on here a piece of new rail type, and we will spin it around so that it is at 0. We'll place it down here somewhere so it lines up close, and it's just not going to give us the right position, so we're going to have to change the increments to 1 so it lines us up with where we're at. Put in a shorts piece here with the circle mode on. We want to go about a 7th tie length, so we'll pull it out to about here. This will be 1 tie short. And now we want to put in a switch, which will actually, because we've used this type of track, it'll actually put it closer to the ground for us. And same trick that we always what we need to do is we need to go do a little bit of measuring over here so that we get aligned to this track that's actually going to run through here. So we want to be on bridge, and this here should be aligned to 90 if I did my maths correct when I moved the industries, and it appears that I did. We'll just put in this piece along here so we can get an alignment for it, so we know what distance away we need to be. And then again with the normal type of track, and we don't want it to actually connect, we just want it to place on the ground underneath and be aligned to that. And then we'll run out with a nice straight piece along here. And this just gives us a marker of how far out we need to build. And now we'll connect onto here, and this will tell us the size of our piece. And we're going to end up with a 60 meter Y in here. So put that bit in there. And then from here, hopefully that is actually placed on the ground. We will measure out 30 meters that way. Need to spin this around. It's 270. Yes, it is going to place correctly. We better connect onto that. Yep, I'm happy with how level that is. And this one we want to place out at 33. And that gives us our mark out for where the... Actually, no, it doesn't give us our mark out for where it needs to be, because we need to align it back over to where this track here sits. We need to delete it all. Let's try again. Try again. Because we need these switches to be in line with this piece here that we put in. Spin that around so that it's on 90. Back to 1 so we can align it with the track. Run it forward until it meets here. Yeah, what the actual? That was most unexpected. That really should not have connected on there like that. So let's attempt that again. We'll come short this time instead of trying to connect it on. There we go. Now, from this point, we will measure out 33 this direction. And now we can come back and delete this piece and measure out 30 something this direction. No, I reckon we just go 30 this direction. Now we can measure out a length for a switch. Put a short piece on the end. And the same on the other end. Measure out the length of a switch. Put a short piece on the other end. And well, something else, the changing around the industries will do is it'll mean that we've got basically a new route layout. We don't have to use the same old routes that we've been using for eons. Some of them will be the same, but a lot of the routes will actually put in differently. So we'll get a new looking rail network, which will make things a lot more interesting to try and play. And now we delete that piece and that bit and that bit. And now we can connect between all these sections. With this type of rail, turn off the circle mode. And this will give us our mark out for... Okay, why is it not letting me connect to here? I measured it out correctly. Now it's following. Now we're connected in there. Same thing again to this one. Again, the same across here. Link up. And let's remove this piece here off of here. And put circle mode back on again with a straight line. And this will mark out our line alignment over to here. And we don't want it to link up, we just want it to pull up short. Okay, now that we've got it marked out, we can come through and build all the rest of the pieces in over the top with the old track types. And of course we don't have new track types, we want old track types. There we go. And somewhere here is a link, there it is. And link across this section, there's our link point. Build straight. Oh, look at that. And there's something I've never noticed. It actually falls through the dip when you get a little bit too close. So we've got to make sure that we actually end that on top, like that. Now we can put in an old type switch over the top. And somewhere here it'll show us a link icon. There it is, there it is. There we go. Now we linked. And somehow or another we have managed to misalign that. It will get us somewhere close. Oh, wrong track. We want the cross tracks, because this is another trick that I actually haven't showed before. And this is, I'll put these cross tracks on here. What I'll actually do is I'll actually build a cross track backwards into the switch, which shows me a link, and it should place it inside the switch there just like that. And then this one here will do the same on this one and place it back into the switch. No, it went under my feet. Second attempt. And again under my feet. Try again. We'll get it there, get it to go where we want it shortly. There we go. And now these ones that are sticking out here, we can actually remove these off of here, and there's like 4 there, and there's 1 there. Now what this does is this gives us a point that we can connect to that is back inside the switch. So it gives us a linking point right here where we can start to build from. And there's the link. And now we can move forward and start to come around. We just want to try and match up to it somewhere close. And well, I have lost my menu, so this is going to be a lot of guesswork here. You can see that as I put this corner in with the new splines, it has actually made a compound curve because I've connected point to point and not used circle mode. We can't see what the curves actually are, but it's definitely put in a compound curve because we keep having to increase the curve radius as we get closer. And now, oh no, it's still getting tighter. And look at that, that's really right on the point where we want it. Now we want to go 1 past. And it's actually dipping down. Why can't I get that to sit on top of these switches? That's a pain. We want to come 1 past anyway. Let's just place it down and come back and delete that piece off the top. Really what we should have done is come here and put switches on top of here first, which it should be that shape switch. But let's just place it on top. No, I don't think that lined up very well at all, did it? Let's have a second go at that. Let's try building a cross track on here first. It's lined up to it. And we've missed by quite a mile there. Let's try with a piece of track then. Center on there. Center on there. Let's see what happens now when we try and snap a switch to it. And we're still not lined up very good. Well, yes. Things never go as planned, do they? You probably notice that as I'm moving this around, there is actually a little grid there to the way the old splines click in, that it won't let you put it in any place that you think that you want to put it down at. It'll only let you put it in certain places. Gotta get the link icon. There it is. Oh, that's a lot better. Still not good though. But that piece over the top, that's close enough that when we build it a second time, we'll actually get it in the right spot. And what we'll actually do is we'll remove this piece here off the top. We'll remove the piece out from underneath. And let's see how far off we are actually lined up here as we try and build these out. Because guaranteed we are off quite a bit here with this alignment. Oh, it's not too bad. I'll put this straight in along the back of here. This will tell us where we need to put the switch on the other end. Oh, I'm not too badly aligned. I didn't do too bad of a job of that. Could have been much worse. But we most certainly are going to have a wiggle in the line to get the rest of the distance. Let me place it. There it goes. And we'll measure 4-day switch. It shows us the length. There it is. Put a cross track on the end. There's the link. Delete that one off the top. And now put the correct one in there. It did actually let me place it in the wrong spot. Didn't link. Try again. One. Show me the link icon. There. There. Now we linked up. Oh, pardon me. We want to do the same little trick here with a cross track on the end of here, and then put a cross track inside again. Gives us something to connect to then that's inside the switch. Come across and we'll build in this curve now. Hold track, and we can connect to here on the inside of the switch. And this one here is going to actually build straight for a little bit before it starts to curve. We'll start working our way into the curve a little bit earlier, that way we're not getting caught off guard towards the later part of the curve. Which here's where it starts to get tighter now. 14. And now we do have to follow the curve all the way around. How tight will it get? Ooh, very tight. Yes, that's extreme, isn't it? 36. 39. And of course we've ended up with a short piece there in the middle. Now that is terrible. We will have another attempt at that because that did not go as planned. Not happy with that curve at all. Which means, yes, just because the new tracks let you place it doesn't mean it's actually good. And actually, I think what we're going to do is we're going to move the switch a little bit further along. I'm not happy with the position of that switch. We'll actually remove that one as well. And that cross track off of there. we will add another piece of normal rail on here. About that much longer. And then put in the cross strap, the switch. Delete that bit out of there. Put on a temporary piece on the end. Turn around and put a new switch facing back the other way. Now we will continue this bit here in old splines up to where the switch should place it. I'm actually going to put just a little tiny wiggle in the here, just so that we can get a bit better of an alignment up to where we're facing. Tiny little wiggle. It's narrow gauge, we can have wiggles. And a link, show me the link, there it is. And actually that's bad. That has actually put it well and truly off course now. We will go back and we will take that out and we will do it again. We'll take both of them bits off. We'll actually only go 0.25%. So we can see when it dips down, because we don't want it to dip, we want it to sit level. That's the point. Okay, now we want a old switch to measure the length. Yeah, that lines up a lot better. And need a cross track on the end to turn around on. Turn the switch and face it back the other way. And the correct switch. Show me the link icon. Yes. Place where I didn't want you to. That's what it'll do. Now we've got a link on there. Now we will actually delete that piece out we put in there, and we'll delete all the rest of this curve that did not work properly. We don't want to delete that cross track, so we'll just leave it there for the moment. Now we want to go to new rails, this type here, and it should show us a link icon. Maybe we'd had one. Look, there it is. There it is. Turn circle mode off and connect onto here, and that'll show us the curve we need to put in. Actually, we might build back this way because the sharpest side of the curve seems to be on this end. So we'll do that little trick with the cross track again, put the cross track back inside the switch so that we've got something to connect on to inside the switch. There we go, now we've got it in the right spot. And we've got something to connect on here in the middle that is level. Okay, now we can put on the circle mode. And I'm actually going to put the first tie in a little bit shorter at 7. That's right, isn't it? 1, 3, 5, 7. And then the next in at, how high does that make us want to go up here? Yeah, I don't care. I'm not going over 25. I don't care. 25 is my limit. How far off of lined up then does it want to put us? We're going to end up with bumpy track here because we're not staying middle on the rail. We'll just have to see. It doesn't let me place it. And that's ridiculous that the new splines are not placing curves where you would expect them to place the curves. They are placing extremely tight curves and they should not have been placing tight curves. There's the link. And like I moved that out another 10 meters. And that still wants to place, I want to be here. A very tight curve in here for this next piece. What's that? 33 it wants to place. That is ridiculous. Well, let's put the curve in all right. Then we'll start backing the curve out a little bit. We don't quite want to go the full 9 tie length because we need to shorten the track up just a little bit so that we can get a neat increment of pieces, a neat number of full length segments into the this piece that bits here. Slowly back the curve out. One nice neat length there to the end. Turn off the alt lock, snap it to the end, and snap it one past the end. And that is terrible. So what we'll do is we'll build back the opposite way. So the old build back, build forwards, build backwards. And that wasn't what we asked for. It did not link. Wrong track type. This time we'll try and get a link. There's our link. Put alt lock on. Link to that one with alt lock on. Then come in a little bit with alt lock on. And then come into there with alt lock on. And then we'll turn the alt lock off and snap to the rest of the joints. That should build us all the way through here to the end. Oh. And of course that segment stuffed up, didn't it? So that means we're going to have to build this again. We'll delete that stuff up. And while we're at it, we will delete these couple of stuffed up bits here, which is that one, and that one, and that one, because we don't want to accidentally connect to these on the wrong line. And that should be all the switch in actually. So what we'll do is we can come back through and we can do a little bit of a tidy up here of the stuff that's underneath, because the stuff underneath actually makes it a little bit harder to place what's on top. We can leave that bit under there for the moment. We can come through, we don't need that. Now we can get rid of that piece. And we can get rid of this piece. And that bit. We'll leave that on the end, and we'll leave that bit on the end. We do need this. I hope we do actually have one of them on this end. No, we haven't actually got this one here on here yet. So we'll put our cross tracks on here. And just here to finish up this episode, we will come through and tidy up this section and basically build over the top of it, turn everything back into a single spline again. And that will be the end of today's episode. Through there and connect. No. Try again. No. Helps if we hit the right button. There we go. Now we got it to place in the correct spot. We do not need these ones. And we haven't got any weird bumps, no. Okay, we will build over this one here first. Oh no, we better get rid of this switch out from underneath first. Otherwise it will get in our way. And normal rails, build over the top. Connect. And we shouldn't need any bolt locks. Just connect to all the pieces through the middle here. And it will build fine through without any groundworks underneath it. As we'll put the groundworks in when we're finished doing the basically optimizing the splines, and then link to that piece there and link to the end. And now we'll go for the delete and click and hold and drag it back over the top of everything here. Now we can remove all the excess splines out from in the middle where they're in little pieces. And we have got a lock up there, because if we look at the rail, it will do weird things. Okay, now we can click that in, remove that, and that rail there, which was the tip of the spline we just put in, and we can remove that bit and the tail. And there we go, there we've got a single spline now that fits in that point there. Oh, look at this, we've still got a little bit of this new spline hiding underneath here. We can get it without deleting what's on top. There we go. And now we need to do the same thing here on this one. Build through from this end and connect all the links, and it should show us the links pretty easy now that the new splines are not underneath. And we do have quite a little bit of a mess going on here. Nearly a full line of ties, making it look like that there is a solid object instead of a tie every couple of inches. And this time we'll and it connected properly and connected on the end. And we do the same thing again with the delete while we've still got the spline held. And we can delete all the extras out from in amongst here, which sometimes they can be hard to get. And then run along here and delete all the extras that are in the middle of here, because there's like 3 tracks built through here to get the curve to go into the right spot. And come through, make sure we actually do get all the extras that are in there. And put the spline in. Delete that. Delete the tip. Back over here and delete this one as well. And delete the tail out of there. And there we go. We have put in a Y. Well, except for this piece here. We need to rebuild across this one here as well. And turn it into a single spline. There. And same thing again. Well, before we've confirmed the new spline, we'll go through and delete what's underneath. Oh, 1, 2, 3, there we go. And now it actually looks like it's a spline built in the new splines because we use them as the layout, so it's nice and symmetrical, but we've actually built it in the old splines. And we also need to build over the top of this piece here all the way back to the start, so that is a single spline all the way from the start to this point. And there's another piece of new spline hiding underneath there. There we go. That got it. Because yeah, we've got a double up going on here, and then we'll clean all them double ups. Okay, well that's the end of today's episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in episode 2, where we continue to build out along here, and we'll start putting in a bit of a yard and the cell area there over at the freight depot. Ta-ta!